Hi everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well. Welcome to the Citizen channel. Today we have a City Past feature today. An interesting one this. I thought I'd do this little one. I'll try and not do the more obvious ones. And I mean, you don't see much about this gentleman, who obviously because of his perhaps his links with United later on in life, but yeah, I mean, he did a good job for City while I was at City. So we're going to have a moments in time today. We're going back to 1928, and we're going back to the 11th of February 1928, when an 18-year-old Scottish lad joined City's books. Didn't get a game for a while, mind you, in the first team, but he joined our books. So today we're going to join me as we're going to have a quick look back at the appearances in the stats of a certain gentleman called Matt Busby. There you go. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notification so you know these vlogs are coming out. And please, if you look at the playlist, there's lots of things: City Present, City Past, etc, etc. And if you know any City fan friends you've got, if you can point them in my direction, I'll be very grateful. And if you look at those playlists, you'll see some film and TV stuff as well. I have a little film and TV channel where I review movies and dramas, etc. And quizzes on there, like I do City quizzes as well. So if you know anyone who might be interested in that, please point them in my direction. I would be very, very grateful. And some links are on the screen as well for Facebook and Twitter. So if you follow or friend me on there, I do reciprocate. Do check every couple of days and follow and friend everyone back. And I post loads of stuff to do with football and movies and TV on there as well. Yeah, Matt Busby. Yeah, 1928, the 11th of February is the sort of date. I think that's. I think the Main Road Encyclopedia has that as the actual date. So sometimes it's hard to know with these signings of players. It can be over a 2 or 3 day period, but we'll go with that. And yeah, £5 he actually came for, a princely sum of £5, and it would be 21 months from that date before he'd actually make his first team debut, but he would actually go on to play 2/3 of his career, more or less, at Manchester City. It was a career that was curtailed by, of course, the Second World War at some stage. He was born in Orbiston, Bells Hill, Scotland, on the 26th of May 1909. It's in North Lanarkshire, 10 miles southeast of Glasgow city centre and just 37 miles west of Edinburgh. He lost his father and his uncles in World War One, had 3 sisters, and as most lads were in Bells Hill at the time, or in, I would imagine, all throughout the UK, was pretty football mad. And he came from a pit village, so as expected, he ended up going down to pit and having a full-time job as a collier. And he actually started playing football part-time for a Stirlingshire junior side called Denny Hibernian. He had a pretty good scouting system at that time. A lot of the big English clubs did. I mean, obviously they pick up these lads up in Scotland and over even Ireland, etc. But yeah, it wasn't long before he was signed up by Manchester. They spotted him and signed him up, as I said, in the February 1928. Obviously it was a City team then that was 2 or 3 months away from regaining promotion back to the First Division again. Obviously a bit of a West Brom at that time, a bit of a bouncy, weren't we, at that sort of time. But yeah, so obviously he was keen to actually come to City. His mother may have sort of quashed that idea, though. I mean, she actually had applied to emigrate to the United States with Matt Busby in tow, but obviously there was a processing period of about 9 or 10 months, so she allowed Matt to join City and obviously see how it went, see how he got on there before they committed themselves to going over to the United States. And of course, despite a wait until November 1929 before he did actually get his first team debut, there was enough said and done to presume that Busby would have a career at a big club. Yes, City were a big club in those days. I mean, it didn't all start in 2008 for these away fans. Yeah, there was enough there to suggest he would have a career at Manchester City. So the USA move didn't happen. And of course, it wouldn't just be City, would it, that would be grateful for that in the long term. So he got his debut at number 10. Yeah, he got inside forward position. If you looked at the teams in those days, obviously number 10 was the inside left position, as opposed to number 8, which was the inside right. So he got his debut on November the 2nd in the inside forward position, and he played again in January. Wasn't a regular. He played again in January in the FA Cup as well. That was a league appearance on November the 2nd against, I think it was Middlesbrough that day. And his only appearance in the FA Cup came in a replay at home in a 4-1 win against Spurs, in which he scored a couple of goals. So, I mean, that didn't seem too bad. But then again, he didn't get a game straight away until about March in the league, when he missed. He only missed 2 league games from early March. Then he was sort of ever present in City's league team, scoring 3 in those games as well, scoring another 3 goals throughout those games. Obviously, despite this, Busby proved himself to be an intelligent player. City manager at the time, Peter Hodge, still wasn't convinced about his position, and he started to play Busby at half-back, at number 4, so the old Mike Doyle position, if you think of it that way. So he'd gone from the inside left position to the right half position, if you like, at number 4 during the 30-31 season. And during that time as well, in 1930-31, United had shown an interest in Mr. Busby as a player, obviously well before, and I think those links with United sort of were there when he eventually went back to them later in his career. But but City said, give us 150 quid, you can have him. But United couldn't put together £150, so Mr. Matt Busby stayed at City, fortunately for us as well. He didn't play his first game that season, 30-31 season, until the end of November, but then a regular in the number 4 spot, which then became his position. He did occasionally play number 8 and number 10, but on number 4 became his position sort of more or less for the rest of his City career. But of course, this withdrawn, more defensive position, obviously the right half position was more defending route. You didn't usually find your right halves too far up the pitch at times. Led to goal scoring opportunities becoming few and far between. But he became a mainstay of the team as a sort of half-back lineup that was quite impressive, and it would do the same for Liverpool when he moved there in a little while. But the next 4 seasons, 31-32, 32-33, 33-34 and 34-35, he would cement this half-back position. In mixed season, City have had a bit mixed in the league. They finished 14th, 15th, 6th and 4th respectively in those 4 seasons. But under the manager Wilf Wild, then it changed to the manager to Wilf Wild, was to come of course a winners' medal in the FA Cup. Of course, with Busby a vital component of that team. I mean, we actually made it to the semi-finals. We were unlucky to lose in the semi-finals to Arsenal in 1931-32. And of course, we made it to the final in 32 and 33, a 3-0 defeat to Everton. And of course, we went back again in 33-34 and a victory, of course, a 2-1 win versus Portsmouth. There's actually some great images that probably been appearing on screen of Busby, but there's some great in the lineup there, meeting the Prince of Wales at the time and King George V, for both those cup finals in one after the other. And there's also a little picture, and I think it could be in London, where they're all dressed smartly and Busby's there with his nice centre party, all out and around town in London during the obviously for the cup finals. 1934-35 will be his penultimate season, and he was an almost ever present until the last month of the season. City had their highest league finish in the first division whilst Busby was there in that season, in 4th place. So things were looking good on the league. So we give up our FA Cup that season, but things were looking a bit brighter in the league. But by the time the 35-36 season came up, he was a regular until about December. Then only made 3 appearances. He wasn't quite fitting into the team anymore, and it actually was a bit of a shock in March when he left to leave Liverpool for £8,000. I mean, that's not bad, is it? It cost us a fiver, did he? And back in when he signed on, he got £8,000, and a gentleman called Jack Percival sort of ousted him and took that number 4 shirt, and that sort of made his exit out the door that much quicker. Of course, we do know the season after Busby left us, City actually did lift the league title. So it would have been nice to think that he could have been there and obviously added that league title medal to a cup winners medal as well, wouldn't it? But we'll never know. I mean, these things you just don't know if it would have happened. Who said it? If he'd stayed, it may not have happened. You don't know, do you? Who can tell? But City's loss, of course, was Liverpool's gain, as Busby made up what they considered to be the best half-back line Liverpool had ever had in those days. So, yeah, he was a great player. He was a good, solid, great player. You know, he's one of those that was never like a bit like your Mike Doyle's, if you like, of that style of play. You know, he's always there. You can always rely on him. Obviously, he's not going to get the glory as much, but he went on to do a good job for Liverpool. Of course, the Second World War curtailed his career, although he continued to guest for teams while he was conscripted to the King's Liverpool Regiment. Obviously, he would guest for other football teams during the war, which was the norm. Most soldiers, etc., and most conscripted footballers ended up playing sort of guesting for other teams, depending where they were based, of course. And after the war, of course, he had those links with United early in the early 30s, didn't he? And he would become join United, obviously become a bit of a legend there, didn't he? And he did stick a statue. It's nice to see a City player with a statue outside Old Trafford, I suppose. But there you go. Yeah, I mean, his popularity at City, especially with the fans who saw him play, never really waned. I've got a little programme here, obviously from his writing in a programme in 1966-67, but his popularity with City fans never waned. So even after joining United, he always spoke fondly of his time at City. And yeah, the notes in this United review thing, this is from the first season back in 66-67, of course, where it was the first Old Trafford derby. And Matt Busby was talking about his connection with City in this, and it just, I mean, you can sort of read between the lines of what he says here to realise that he still had a lot of respect and love for City. This was the 17th of September 1966. He wrote, "If I say that my personal disappointment in our own failure to carry off an honour last season was tempered by Manchester City's success in achieving promotion, I hope I will not be misunderstood." I mean, don't forget, obviously the old rivalries in the 60s was beginning to sort of rev up, wasn't it? For having played for City for some years between the wars, I've always had considerable affection for the Main Road club, with whom I won one of my most prized possessions, an FA Cup winners' medal in 1934. In addition, of course, the winning of the Second Division Championship gave this great city not one but two First Division teams. It also stirred up considerable interest among football fans at a time when gates were falling in so many soccer centres. Yeah, I mean, these ties are always getting 63,000 every time, you know, and there weren't many big crowds like that around the country. And natural promotion sees the resumption of these twice-a-season derby games, matches which in themselves capture the imagination of all football fans in the city. In welcoming the City directors, officials, players and their supporters to Old Trafford this afternoon, I would also like to take this opportunity of first congratulating them on their return to the top sphere, and secondly of wishing them well in the months ahead. On a personal level, once again, it will be very gratifying to greet their manager, Joe Mercer, a friend of many years standing, on his first visit here as City's manager. Mr. Mercer did much last season to revive City's playing fortunes, and I have little doubt his enthusiasm and ability will stand them in good stead for the future. Now on with the game. I hope the supporters of both clubs will give their particular favourites a big welcome and the right kind of vocal encouragement, a game which I feel sure will prove most entertaining to spectators and players alike. So some kind words there. I mean, I think he was a proper gentleman. I mean, I did have an image on the wall of obviously you can see that there. You can see that one there. Obviously with Shankly, Mercer and Busby, I've always had that. But great picture. I mean, they'll put their minds together. What sort of football manager if you took all three of those together? They're absolutely superb. Yeah, so they were kind words from a real gentleman. He's playing stats for City. He played 202 league games and scored 11 goals. As I say, most of those were in his first season when he was obviously, well, nearly half of those were in the first season when he played obviously as an inside forward. In the FA Cup, he played 24 times and scored 3 goals. So there you go, 226 appearances altogether for Manchester City in the league and FA Cup. Matt Busby passed away on the 20th of January 1994. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this Moments in Time. Just a little brief look back at Matt Busby's playing career at Manchester City. And I think he played quite a lot of games for Liverpool as well. Not as many as he played for City, but Yeah, a good player, and he's at least he got that little FA Cup winners medal in his locker, didn't he? So that was nice, and he won one or two things, didn't he, as a manager as well? So, but we'll gloss over that. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Please, whatever you're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your family, and more importantly, let's all look after each other until we meet again here on the Citizen channel. Or perhaps you flit across to my movie channel, my TV and film channel. This is Bernard saying, please stay safe, Blues. See you again. Bye-bye.